Oh dear, sacre bleu. There is trouble in paradise, folks. Meghan wants out as she cruelly abandons Prince Harry yet again, this time for an attention-seeking trip to Paris Fashion Week. Now, France has got big problems. They're in the midst of an economic and social crisis. They've lost yet another prime minister. They are going through a hard time. Have they not suffered enough without Meghan Markle turning up? Hi, bonjour, I'm here in Paris to have some fun. You're welcome. I haven't taken my husband. Now, the messaging here is abundantly clear and has been for months now, which is that Meghan wants out. The Duchess is laying the groundwork for life after her marriage to Prince Harry, which is exactly why, at the beginning of the year, the Mark Dolan show was the only show in the world to put Harry and Meghan on 24/7 divorce watch. Folks, it's over. As Roy Orbison used to sing, it's over, it's over. And it is. Now, Meghan Markle has a long history of brutally and unceremoniously dumping those who are closest to her. She's got form on this, including her loving half-siblings, Samantha and Thomas Markle Jr., who was so affectionate, so devoted to her when she was a little girl. She's also dumped close friends, like the super loyal Jessica Mulrooney, thrown under the bus after a minor scandal. Industry insiders have been rejected, the people who helped her so much in the early years, including Victoria Beckham, Lizzie Cundy and Piers Morgan. What about her wonderful ex-husband, Trevor Engelson, who ceased to be of use once she got her part in the TV show Suits, and he was gone. He was out. And what about her doting father, her own flesh and blood, the man who gave her everything, Thomas Markle Sr., who, as the Mark Dolan show reported last week, was stuck in a cheap high-rise apartment in the Philippines as they suffered the worst earthquakes in a generation. Where was a post on Instagram from Meghan Markle saying, I hope my old man is okay. I hope my papa is going to be all right. Sending thoughts and prayers. Nothing. What did Thomas Markle Sr. get as he feared for his life at the top of a high-rise? Deafening silence. And that's what Meghan does, because Meghan gaslights everyone, abuses everyone, attacks everyone, and dumps everyone. She's the queen of cutting people out of her life. It's what she does. It is a pathology tied in, I suspect, with her narcissistic personality disorder. She's not a well person psychiatrically. She has a pathology. That's my honest view. And I actually feel sorry for her. I mean, God knows where it all comes from. Possibly childhood trauma. I don't know. Was Doria an absent mother as she allegedly chased other men that weren't Thomas Markle and got baked every night on weed? I don't know. I don't have that information. Meghan is psychiatrically, she's not a well bunny. She's not right in the head. Neither is Harry, for different reasons. But Meghan has this pathology. She dumps people. She cuts people out of her life when they are no longer of use. I mean, this is someone, don't forget, if you look at the pattern of behaviour, it's inescapable. This is someone that gets through staff members quicker than James Corden gets through Krispy Kreme donuts, with reports that Meghan in the past has reduced grown men on her payroll to tears. So Meghan attacks people, she gaslights them, she throws them under the bus, she dumps them, she cuts them out of her life. That is her modus operandi. That's how she rolls. And Harry is next. Harry's next. What's extraordinary is that this trip to Paris involved a shocking desecration of the memory of Harry's mother, Diana, who's one of the greatest Brits that ever lived. And I'll shock you with that story if you haven't heard it. The detail is quite outrageous, with Meghan's contempt for the memory of Diana. It's up there with the moment when she mocked Queen Elizabeth II on the Harry and Meghan Netflix documentary. We'll come to that shortly, but first, let's take a look at the so-called highlights of Meghan's trip to Paris. What a vomit-inducing video that was. And there is a clear strategy, which is that Meghan wants out. Obviously, she's preparing for life after Harry. She knows she's going to be a very, very rich woman because her massive pension, right? First of all, there will be a divorce, and that will be extremely profitable for Meghan because there's no prenup. The Mark Dolan show revealed that there was no prenup almost a year ago. There's no prenup. She's going to take Harry to the cleaners. She's going to take him down, and she's going to take him down to Chinatown. I'm going to take you down to Chinatown, and you'll have nothing left. I've taken your soul. I've taken your life. I've taken everything. I swear to God, she is in trouble. He's in trouble because there's no prenup, right? So he's going to get cleaned out, and she'll be using Californian lawyers who are the best in the world at shaking money out of the pockets of rich men. And Harry is one of those people. And I tell you, he will deeply regret that. So, and then of course, her massive plan is the book. And it will be Meghan, my story, and it will go to the highest bidder. And Harry got 20 million for Spare. So I predict that Meghan will easily get double that. 40, 50, $60 million. It could be $100 million. A company like HarperCollins or Penguin Random House, they'll just basically say, here's the checkbook, just write your number here. Whatever the number is, just write the number on the page and the money is yours. I promise you. I guarantee you. So she's going to, and then of course there'll be the tie-in with the Netflix show. So you'll have a book, which is called Meghan, My Story, and you'll have the documentary on Netflix, Meghan, My Story. And so she doubles her money. So, I mean, she perhaps gets to $150, $200 million eventually, if you include the book, the TV show, and the divorce deal, the severance. It's going to be huge. And of course, the kids will still be young. They'll be living in California. So he'll have massive alimony. I mean, Harry, if you think Harry's broke now with no job and with the charities deserting him like rats leaping off a sinking ship, like Centevale, which is basically a smoking ruin of a charity now, and a public relations dumpster fire. If you think Harry's got problems now, wait till he's divorced. It's game over. One of the many reasons why he's begun this relationship with King Charles again, because he's going to need King Charles to support him when all of this goes south, and south it will go. So what we've got here with this trip to Paris with Meghan on her own is, I don't need Harry. I'm very independent now, and I am a solo brand. And that's the thing. At the beginning, when Meghan was a nobody, then it was the Sussexes. But you don't hear Meghan talking about the Sussexes now. It's Meghan all the way. I'm Meghan Markle, didn't you know? And I'm Meghan Sussex now. I'm Meghan Rupert Murdoch. I'm Meghan Warren Buffett. I don't care what my surname is as long as I can progress and embark on my strategy of global domination. You're welcome. So she's sending out a clear message that she doesn't need Harry. I mean, this is the thing. If you watch pathological people like Meghan, okay, they are hiding in plain sight. There's actually no mystery about her strategy. She's preparing for life. She's got a business model, which is all about life post-Harry. So she goes to Paris and she gets all the headlines and she gets her photograph taken. She doesn't want old Humpy Dumpy Harry, hanging around a couple of feet behind her, holding her bags, being depressed. Because, I mean, he's such a grey cloud of a human being these days, isn't he? Poor Prince Harry, world's least happy millionaire. Humpy Dumpy Dumpy Dum. And my terrible life with 16 bathrooms in Montecito. It's really awful, man. So that's why she's gone to Paris. It's a flex. It's a statement. It's communication, which is that I am the brand now. Meghan is the brand. It's not Meghan and Harry. It's not the Sussexes. It's actually Meghan Sussex. It's Meghan, Duchess of Sussex, which makes me nauseous. It makes me nauseous. It makes me nauseous to think about it. And I'll tell you why it makes me nauseous. It's because that title, Duchess of Sussex, is a British title. It's a venerated aristocratic title related to the monarchy, and an amazing gift bestowed upon the couple by the late, great Queen Elizabeth II, whose first prime minister as queen was Winston Churchill, no less, the man that saved the free world. So the history, the lineage of the royal family. Ever wondered how those random companies that you've never heard of seem to know everything about you, your name, your address, the fact that you need a new toaster? Well, it's not magic. It is data brokers. They buy and sell your personal information, and it ends up in places that you would never expect. That's why I'm using Incogni. Now, Incogni goes out to these data brokers on your behalf, tells them to delete your personal information, and then follows up to make sure it's actually gone. It's like having your own personal bouncer for your data, quietly throwing out the bad guys after they've had a few too many Budweisers, which is the king of beers. I tried it myself, and the number of companies holding my details was genuinely shocking. With just a few clicks, Incogni got them wiped, while I took a well-deserved afternoon nap. Here's the deal. If you go to incogni.com/Dolan and use the code Dolan, you'll get 60% off an annual plan. That's incogni.com/Dolan. Code Dolan for 60% off for the whole year. And then you can buy that toaster in privacy. And the respect and the status and the social position is off the chart. And now that absolute charlatan, Meghan Markle, gets to carry a title as weighty as that, Duchess of Sussex. It really upsets me. But that's going to be her brand going forward. And don't forget, in the divorce deal, she doesn't just get more than half of Harry's money and a stipend for the rest of her life from that fool. She gets the title. Did you know that when they divorce, she remains Meghan, Duchess of Sussex? She's got that forever now. Isn't that wild? If I become Prime Minister, I'll introduce a law to have those titles stripped, because I'm truly horrified at the idea that when they divorce, which is inevitable, she remains Meghan, Duchess of Sussex. She never was a Duchess, and she never will be, so she shouldn't have that title. Because if you're a Duchess, then I expect a certain demeanour, a certain aesthetic look, okay, which is basically elegance. I don't mean the rather casual gear that Meghan floats around in. No. I like a Duchess to look like a Duchess, to be slightly regal and grand. Don't forget Meghan Markle. By the way, what the heck is she doing at Paris Fashion Week, right? What does she know about fashion? She knows about as much about fashion as disgraced financier Bernard Madoff knows about accurate accountancy. It's not happening. So she greeted William and Catherine for the first time, barefoot, so you could see all her bunions and ingrowing toenails and the fungal athlete's foot. God knows what else is going on with Meghan's feet. But let me just say, Meghan's feet, I've seen pictures of Meghan's feet, right? No disrespect. A hot mess. Meghan's feet are a hot mess. Meghan's feet are a hot bunions, like a rash, inflammation, very puffy, fluffy feet. Meghan's feet are a hot mess. They're a hot mess. My husband. No wonder she wasn't wearing shoes. She probably got to trying to let the swelling go down a bit. Can you imagine the stink? Can you imagine the smell of her cheesy feet when she meets William? William's like, "It's nice to meet you, Meghan. What's that smell? Somebody opened a box of camembert." So I don't know why she's at Paris Fashion Week. Well, I do know why. It's got nothing to do with fashion. It's sending a message, which is her. It's basically tooling up for life after Harry, and she goes to Paris. Now, it's quite clear that, really how this is all played out is that in biological terms, over the years, from when they met, 2016, I think it was, Harry was the host cell that she infiltrated, right? So she's this little, viral entity that turns up in the bloodstream. And Harry's rather stupid host cell floating around going, "Oh, hello, I'm Prince Harry. I'm basically a host cell ready to suck into myself any old rubbish and then be infiltrated by it and have my life destroyed. You're welcome." See, whereas you've got if I look at someone like William, who was so great in that Apple TV documentary, he's the opposite. He's like one of those smart cells, like an antibody. And he sees some viral entity coming his way and he just bats it away, sends it running for the hills. But not Harry. Harry's a complete sucker, a sitting duck, a complete fool of a man that was taken in by Meghan with her penetrating, twirly-whirly eyes like the snake in the Jungle Book. It's just those Bare necessities, those simple bare necessities, the simple bare necessities of life. What's better, The Lion King or The Jungle Book? Which has got better music? Let me know in the comments. Circle, circle of life. I think I know the answer. So here we go. Harry was the host cell, infiltrated by my husband. And she's got everything that she needs out of him, the royal titles, the fame, the social position. He's therefore no longer of use to her, and Meghan's track record is clear because I am a Meghan historian, right? I've got a PhD in the history of Meghanology. And I can tell you that when you're not useful to Meghan, you are out, you are gone. Adios, amigo. Au revoir, mon ami. Adieu. À tout à l'heure. Auf Wiedersehen, mein Freund. Auf die Treppe schnell! So he's in trouble. The boy's in trouble. The press have been reporting on Meghan's trip to Paris. And can I tell you, the press, right, establishment mainstream press, are so pro-Sussex, it makes me physically ill. They are so slavishly positive about Harry and Meghan, who are a pair of charlatans, a pair of ne'er-do-wells, a pair of wrong-uns, a pair of liars, a pair of vicious, heartless thugs. They really, really are. Their behavior has been so appalling over the years, and yet the press write about them like they're terribly important people, which they're not, that they're terribly interesting people, which they're not, that they're terribly good people, which they are not. Tell me the last good thing that Harry and Meghan did. They got the charity. That's all they got is a charity. Why do they do the charity? So that they can look like good people. Everything else has been an absolute horror show. So the Duchess of Sussex, right? This is how they're reporting it in the press. The Duchess of Sussex made a glamorous return to Paris Fashion Week on Saturday. Glamorous? I beg your pardon. Flying in solo to support a close friend in the fashion world. Good luck with that friend. He'll be gone in 6 months' time when he's no longer useful to Meghan. Meghan attended Balenciaga's show, marking her first appearance at the prestigious event in more than 10 years. Who cares? The trip to the French capital was, and by the way, they're in the midst of a political, sociological, and cultural crisis in France. The last thing they need is Meghan Markle turning up. Hi, I'm Meghan Markle, and I've come to have some fun in Paris. You're welcome. In France, do you guys have flower sprinkles? Il s'appelle sprinkle du fleur. Est-ce que vous avez sprinkles du fleur? Le fleur sprinkly? Est-ce que vous avez, petit peu, s'il vous plaît, Monsieur Macron, bonjour. Pain au chocolat, café au lait. Je vais aux piscines avec mes amis pendant le week-end. Je nage très, très fort et bien et vite. So, I love the French. We've got so many French people that watch the show. There's a big chunk of the Mark Dolan show audience that's watching in France. But that's why I speak so much French, because I have to connect with my French viewers. Bonjour, comment ça va, mes amis? Malheureusement, je ne parle pas français couramment, mais je dois pratiquer. Et j'espère que je vais améliorer ma française. Bonjour, comment ça va? And there's so many in French Quebec as well, right? Which is a lovely hybrid of being North American but French. What a lovely mix that is, isn't it? What that means is you're Canadian and you're French. It means you have excellent pastries and big cars. It's a win-win. There are no losers in French Quebec. Quebecois. So here's the thing, right? So she goes to a Balenciaga's show, marking her first appearance at this event in more than 10 years. The trip to the French capital was intended to show her backing for the fashion house's new creative director, who's called Pier Paolo Piccioli. Pier Paolo Piccioli, which sounds like a delicious pizza, doesn't it? If I say Pier Paolo Piccioli, I'm kind of getting hungry. My mouth is watering. Can we get, I'm going to ask for a margarita, please. I'll take 2 American hots. Stephanie, an American hot. Big Steve, American hot. And I'll take a Pier Paolo Piccioli, please, with extra mozzarella. Would be a buongiorno, ciao. So this guy, right, Pier Paolo Piccioli, his designs Meghan has worn in many occasions, and I would imagine she tried to keep them because she loves free stuff. Meghan loves free stuff, so I doubt that she. I'm so sorry, I completely forgot to give back all those dresses worth thousands. And I don't know where they are anymore. I think they were the dry cleaners. Sorry, I've kept everything. You're welcome. The disgusting, slavishly positive coverage continues. Over the years, the Duchess, they call her the Duchess. Well, I'm not calling her the Duchess because she's not a Duchess. Okay, because I imagine a Duchess to be very strict with good posture like that, wearing very heavy sort of wool coats and silk and, linen, heavy with linen, and just hot, sweaty clothes, very stiff upper lip, very, perfect posture. That's for me what a Duchess should be. Right, Meghan Markle, a Duchess, not so much. So here we go. Apparently they've worked closely together, she and this designer who doubles up as a pizza, collaborating on design for key moments on the world stage. She has long admired his craftsmanship and modern elegance. And tonight was no different. Well, I think what she admires, by the way, just to jump in there, is she admires his status and celebrity in the world of fashion is what she admires. And the minute he's no longer relevant, he's out. The evening reflects the culmination of many years of artistry and friendship, reflected in her support for his new creative chapter at Balenciaga. What a load of PR nonsense. Why are we being spoon-fed this rubbish? We're then told during her European getaway, she was photographed rubbing shoulders with fashion heavyweights, including Anna Wintour, who is a woman even more devoid of personality than Meghan, by the way. She's the Ice Queen. Isn't she the inspiration of The Devil Wears Prada? They go on, yes, yet the real question is why the Duchess of Sussex chose to make her high fashion debut at one of the industry's most watched events in a label whose name still provokes headlines because of controversy. So Balenciaga, right, once fashion's undisputed provocateur brand, was embroiled in a crisis in 2022. And I can't go into the details because it's a family show. But let me just try to convey to you broadly how obscene and offensive Balenciaga was in 2022. They basically had this kinky range, right? This season of fashion, which featured children, which is already why are there children in a fashion show, right? This is for adults, adult fashion. It's an adult brand. So why are you having kids in the photo shoot? That's already wrong. And one of these adverts featured children holding teddy bears, and the teddy bears are wearing, wait for it, bondage gear and S&M, and a kid has to look at that and hold it. And that was apparently their great idea, fashion-wise, is to have teddy bears in bondage, which the kids have got, right? And another part of the fashion shoot used props referencing I can't, I'm not even sure I can really describe it, but let me just say the exploitation of youngsters. It was really, really weird. It was dark. It was creepy. It was so wrong. And there was global outrage at how inappropriate and ill-judged and creepy this was and what an agenda it felt like. Because have you noticed how some of the woke stuff is already very creepy and very ungodly and against nature and against scientific reality and against biology and all that stuff, right? A lot of it's creepy and ungodly anyway, and in my view, some of it's dark. Well, teddy bear wrapped in bondage? I need some help with that. So this is an outrage. And Meghan decides that she's going to go all in with this brand just a couple of years later, even though she co-founded the Archwell Foundation, which, didn't you know, is very concerned about child protection and their online safety. But then she goes and love bombs the creative director of Balenciaga, which just 3 years ago, was responsible for this absolute abomination of a campaign, which is inappropriate and frankly, in my view, in the world of the Mark Dolan show, illegal. It was just illegal. It was against the law of the world. So Balenciaga is a hideous brand, a tainted brand, deeply offensive, and Meghan is all a... Can you imagine Princess Catherine allowing herself to be associated with a brand like Balenciaga after that campaign 3 years ago? Can you imagine? It wouldn't happen. I mean, Catherine's so lovely, she doesn't put her name to anything anyway, but if she did, it would be some incredibly, revered and respected brand like Estee Lauder or something, some venerated brand that nobody's cross about. That would be Catherine, because she's got judgment. But Meghan's got no judgment. And I've said this many times, the Duke and Duchess of double standards, really worried about children's online safety and their protection. Meanwhile, by the way, she puts her kids on Instagram every 10 seconds. She's the only celebrity in the world that actually paps her own kids. Right? You have these paparazzi photographers waiting outside famous people's houses to get pictures of the family, pictures of the kids, pictures of the grown-ups. They just want pictures all day long. Meghan does that for them. You don't need the paparazzi because she paps her own kids. Papa, don't preach. I'm in trouble deep. Papa, don't preach. I'm not losing sleep. Now, are we gonna hit the note? But I made up my mind. I'm keeping my baby. I'm gonna keep my baby. Ooh. We did hit the note, didn't we? We got there in the end. We built this city. We built this city on rock and roll. By the way, can I tell you something about that song, We Built This City? It's by Starship. I love it. It was voted one of the worst songs of the 80s. I loved We Built This City. Let me know in the comments what you think of We Built This City. We built this city. We built this city on rock and roll. It's a great tune. Anyway, lyrics by Bernie Taupin, who is Elton John's lyricist. And he wrote the lyrics for that. Imagine. Who knew? Anyway, there you go. You see, because that proves that form is temporary and class is permanent. Can I tell you I'm a little hot today? And the reason why I'm hot is because it's October in the United Kingdom and we're having a mini heat wave. Who knew? Loving it. But forgive therefore my slightly shiny complexion. Shall I buff up? I think I might buff up. Let's buff up. I think you deserve it. I think you've earned it. By the way, we've got a lot of work to get through today, so please bear with me. We've got a few more truth bombs to drop before we're out of here. Only the best for you guys. Can you believe that? I should have had the air conditioner on today. It's a bit too late now. See, even when... The problem with the British weather, right? It's often raining, it's cold, and then when it's hot, it's annoying too. British weather is always annoying. So, anyway, very inappropriate to love bomb Balenciaga, which is a hideous brand. And I actually would reject any kind of sponsorship deal from Balenciaga based upon their behavior 3 years ago. So the reporting goes on. Meghan made her, they say she's 44. Meghan 44. I don't know how old Meghan is. Some of you, let me know in the comments, how old is Meghan? Some of you think she's in her mid 50s. I kid you not. Some of you think she's in her mid... A couple of people said she's 60. I don't know how old she... I've got no reason to believe she's not 44. But how old is Megs? Do you know something? The issue you've got, because of the years and years of lies from this couple, it means that even when they publish their age, I'm not sure I can believe it anymore. I can't believe anything. So they say she made her entrance in a crisp white ensemble, tailored wide leg trousers and a matching blazer paired with black pointed heels and a sleek bun. Later, she changed into a sophisticated black dress. Please, I can't do this anymore. She was photographed warmly greeting Vogue's global editorial director, Anna Wintour, and filmmaker Baz Luhrmann at the star-studded runaway show. The Duchess, by the way, cozying up to Baz Luhrmann, right? He's a famous director. He did Romeo and Juliet, the musical movie, which was very good, and Moulin Rouge. And I would say that she's trying to get acting parts again. That'll be a big thing when she divorces Harry, is she'll be back in Hollywood. And unfortunately for all of us, she will get parts because she's a celebrity and she brings a bit of noise and column inches, whatever she does. So she'll be back. She'll probably be part of a woke makeover of Snow White again or something. She'll do some, I'd like to play Snow White as a brave woman of courage. You're welcome. But that's the Baz Luhrmann thing is interesting. That she's not. There's no way she's given up acting. Let me tell you. And of course, she wrote all about it on Instagram. Now, it's very ironic that we're told how amazing her contribution to Paris Fashion Week is, because she's a bit of a mover and shaker in the world of fashion. Except that, let's be clear, because they write this, right? This is in one of the write-ups. This year, the Duchess launched a new online platform where followers can browse and buy her curated pics in clothing, accessories, and jewelry, right? So what they've done is the establishment media are saying, what an amazing curator of fashion she is. Well, have I got news for you folks? Stop the press. This was called Shop My, right? Which is basically, she curated a Shop My affiliate storefront linked via Instagram in March 2025. And this featured her fashion and beauty pics, right? It coincided with promo for the Netflix show With Love Meghan. I've got news for you. The page was quietly deactivated and deleted in early September of this year. It's gone. They pulled the plug because everything Meghan touches turns to mud. No formal explanation given, right? Exactly like the podcast, which was called Confessions of a Female Founder, which had one season, never returned. And of course, it never will. And what about her website? I was on her website this morning. I go there every day because that's the highlight of my day. I make a big cup of decaf coffee. You're welcome. And I go and I see how sales are going over at the As Ever brand, right? First of all, this was a partnership with Netflix, but Netflix haven't touched it with a barge pole, right? There are no references on the Netflix website or anywhere else relating to this brand. So they're not a very enthusiastic partner. They're not just a sleeping partner, Netflix. They are a partner that's in a heavy coma, impossible to revive. The As Ever brand, according to the Mark Dolan Show's latest research, has 6 items available on its website. It's got 6 items. 3 types of which are tea bags. There are 2 types of jam, and then the flower sprinkles, which in my view, the flower sprinkles, by the way, toxic, hallucinogenic, and people aren't supposed to eat flowers. So she flies off to France without Harry. Why can't she take Harry? Harry's got no job. He's not a busy man. And he could carry her bags and just, when she's out doing, all of the kind of photo calls and, meeting celebrities, he could be at home and he could fluff her pillows in the hotel room, couldn't he? And maybe tidy up her clothes and things like that. Perhaps he could clean the bathroom with his, bare hands. So get the guy to work. Get him to do something useful. He could iron her clothes. Although I don't know what you think about this, but hotel irons. Are hotel irons not the worst thing in the world? How many wonderful loved clothes have you lost to the hotel iron? Because they're either very cold or hotter than the surface of the sun. And have you ever had a hotel iron vomit on your clothes? Because I have. And it's a kind of orange, rusty detritus that just pours out of the what is supposed to be the holes for steam, and it just onto a silk shirt. Disastrous. Breaks my heart. Don't go breaking my heart. I couldn't if I tried. Oh, honey, if I get restless. Baby, you're not that kind. Ooh, 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 ooh. So she's flown off to France. Why can't she take Harry? Well, I'll tell you for why. Because Meghan wants out. She's done. And actually, Harry can't be there because she needs to build her brand outside of Harry. And that's why she's got her social media footprint. That's why she's got the Instagram, which is growing. That's why the show on Netflix is called With Love Meghan. It's not With Love the Sussexes. It's a Meghan brand because Meghan is the brand now. It's not Harry and Meghan. It's not Sussexes. It is Meghan, Duchess of Sussex. That is the brand. And therefore, she's doing everything to grow that brand. Why? Because Meghan wants out and she's planning for life after Harry is abundantly clear. It's there for all to see. It's hiding in plain sight. And he could easily have gone with her to France. I mean, are you married? Would you let me know if in the comments, but with your partner, wouldn't you, especially if you were rich, wouldn't you travel with your partner? If Mrs. Dolan was going off to fancy places like Monaco or something, I'd be on the plane. I'd fluff her pillows, if you'll forgive the strong imagery. Of course, sir, I'll make myself useful on a work trip. Very entertaining. And, when she's finished a long, hard day, then we're going to go to a nice restaurant, have a lovely time, make a holiday of it. But why isn't Harry there? She doesn't want him there, and she can't have him there because he mustn't be part of the brand going forward. The podcast was all about Meghan. And, when was the last time they did something together publicly? They don't. Meghan sees herself as a solo act, right? She's left the Beatles and she's just McCartney on her own now. Oh, Paul McCartney. And when I wrote Hey Jude, Hey Jude. Do you think Paul McCartney, I think he starts every sentence when I wrote Hey Jude. He's having breakfast with his wife Nancy in the morning. He goes, oh, hello, Nancy. When I wrote Hey Jude, could you pass the salt, please? You're welcome. Oh, Hey Jude. Oh, Nancy. When I wrote Hey Jude, would you scratch my back? It's a bit itchy on them. Oh, thanks, Nancy. Hey, Nancy, when I wrote Hey Jude, do you mind not snoring so loudly at night? You're very noisy in the bedroom and snoring, You're a bigger snorer than John and Ringo combined, Paul McCartney, peace and love, How the hell did we get onto McCartney? This is unhelpful. You see, this is what happened. I love you guys, but if you interrupt me and you take me down rabbit holes, it's not my fault. Don't shoot the messenger. I've got these royal truth bombs for you. We're actually going to have to speed this up. So she's everything. It's about Meghan, right? And even privately, she's doing that because it's her house in Montecito, right? Her social media footprint, it's her career, it's her TV show, it's her deal with Netflix. That renewal, that so-called fake renewal with Netflix, that's about Netflix saying, when you get divorced, we want the TV show. We want the Meghan show, the Meghan documentary, Meghan My Life. And even the kids, right? They're not Harry's kids, they're her kids. And the proof of that is that she writes them an email every day, a creepy stalker-like email, which they'll only see when they're 18. And she said she's on camera and on the record as saying that it's because when the kids are older, they want them to know that they had a great mum. And there was no reference to that they had great parents or that they had a great mother and father. No. It's about her being a great mum. So she's basically brainwashing the kids too into the cult of Meghan. What a cult she is. She's such a cult. She's a right cult. That Megs. My husband, you're welcome. So Harry's not part of it. And it's sad. It's sad. But you reap what you sow. Harry, you married her. You made a mistake. We told you not to. Everyone told you not to. Your brother, William, who loves you, and is, as we discovered from yesterday's show, if you haven't seen yesterday's show, you need to see it. It's one of my favorite shows because we focus on a great member of the royal family, which is William. He's just a dream. Can I tell you, by the way, that show is flying in the ratings. It is just right. While Meghan can barely get into the top 500 shows with all the publicity of With Love Meghan. And so now we've got this appearance on someone else's show that William did, this amazing travel show, The Reluctant Traveller. Eugene Levy, what a lovely comedy actor, what a special man. He's like, for me, he's like royalty as well. He's so dignified. He's Hollywood royalty. I love Eugene Levy. What a gentle manner he's got, but very intelligent too. He was basically handed this juicy story by William on a plate, and he could see that this was like gold, and he knew he was getting a mega exclusive. He wasn't hunting for it, but it was presented to him, and he facilitated brilliantly. He helped William get his message across. Anyway, that show is straight into the top 10 in the United States. Do you have any idea how competitive the media scene is in the United States? Right? America's the biggest media market on the planet. Top 10 in the United States. Top 10 in the UK. And wait for it, top 10 globally. He's absolutely owning it. And the biggest slap in the face of poor old Harry. He's going to be even more depressed. World's least happy millionaire. Humpy dumpy dump. So Meghan's flown off to France. It's clear what she's going to do. And by the way, while she's on a plane, she loves international travel. Why couldn't she go to the Philippines with her father, Thomas Markle, with a care package and some money? Actually, give the guy some money. Why else is he living in a high-rise in the Philippines, which overlooks a 7-lane highway? No. Toon, 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 toon. Literally, we don't have time for this. So, she should be in the Philippines. If she's on a plane, again, right? So I don't understand why you don't take your husband who has no job for a holiday in France. I don't understand why he doesn't come. Well, it's because she wants out. And then the other thing is that if she's going on a plane, if your father's stuck in a freaking skyscraper, right? During the biggest earthquakes the Philippines has had in a generation, are you not going out there to see him? My God, you are, all day long. Wild horses couldn't keep me from going to see a relative that was stuck in a high rise during earthquakes. But no, she goes to Paris for an ego trip. The couple are living separate lives. It's game over. Before we go, I need to tell you something quite outrageous and quite shocking. And this is about the fact that Meghan, as part of her trip, her indulgent trip to France, basically, flippantly, and in a really tin-eared, heartless way, has desecrated the memory of Princess Diana. Okay, so the Duchess, Meghan Markle, Z-list actress, has faced criticism for posting a video on Instagram that showed her being driven through Paris, close to the site of Princess Diana's fatal car crash. Now, Meghan travelled to the French capital alone, as we've just said, to attend Paris Fashion Week, where she supported this designer who sounds like a pizza. That's good. He sounds delicious. I've got to say, I don't want to be unkind about the guy. He sounds delicious. Pierpaolo Piccioli. Excuse me, waiter. Could I get a little bit more Piccioli, please, on my pizza? It's a little bit low in Piccioli. It's a bit Piccioli light. Thank you. Just extra. I'll pay extra, but I know the Piccioli is a very expensive ingredient. I'll pay a little extra. I'll give you some lire for that. They don't have the lira anymore, but why let the facts get in the way of a good story? After the event, she shared several Instagram stories with her 4.2 million followers. And one of the clips, filmed from the back seat of a chauffeur-driven car, showed her travelling along the banks of the Seine at night. The video captured landmarks, including the Pont Alexandre III, which is a lovely bridge, before the car continued towards the Pont de l'Alma. As the vehicle approached, Meghan lifted her feet, wearing her Balenciaga $1,000 heels. Woman of the people. Keeping it real, folks. High heels, $1,000, you're welcome. And she puts her feet up. Now, first of all, I don't like people that put their feet up in the car. But just think about the historical relevance of this. The Pont de l'Alma is near the tunnel where Diana perished in 1997. Meghan, who was 16 at the time of the tragedy, later married Diana's son, Harry, right? That's the write-up. We know that. Obviously, where are these journalists coming from? The location carries deep personal significance for Harry. In his 2023 memoir, Spare, he wrote about asking a driver to take him through the same tunnel during the 2007 Rugby World Cup, attempting to understand the events that led to his mother's passing. He described the experience as shattering any remaining doubt that he held about the tragedy. Now, given this history, Meghan's decision to share footage of herself passing the area publicly has been widely criticised, and absolutely so. Right? Someone on X said, "Please tell me that's not real. She didn't actually do that, did she?" Another commented, "For most people whose husband's mothers died, passing the area where it happened would be a moment of quiet, respectful contemplation, not putting your feet up in your $1,000 high heels and having a party." Royal commentator Richard Fitzwilliams, who's a good friend of mine, he's a great journalist, he described the post as utterly bewildering, beyond stupid, and insensitive beyond belief. Of course, he's absolutely right. And that's Meghan all over. What can you do? I don't make the rules. Folks, it's been so great to talk. Cannot wait to see you for tomorrow's show. More big stories bubbling away. I can't wait to share them with you. We've barely got through today's agenda. So much more to get through. But in the meantime, can I just thank you for watching? Please like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. It's the reminder bell in case you get surprise monologues. And that's our plan, and it's so nice to have you. So listen, where do we go for here? How do we play out? I think this is how we play out. Yes, there are times when we all need to share a little pain. When ironing out the rough spots is the hardest part when memories remain. Kick inside is in the light that finally gets to you. And it feels so good to hurt so bad and suffer just enough to sing the blues. Elton, where is the chorus? Turn 'em on, turn 'em on, turn on those sad songs. When all hope is gone, you gotta tune in and turn them on. Reach into your room, whoa.